Insert ice cubes. Today was a good day. I Should I insert ice cubes? Today was a good day. Today was a good day. Fuck. Don't even know how the song goes. Anyway. Um. Was today a good day because I had a winner? Nah. I'd say it was a good day because of my execution. Right, execution and I want to say focus. Not so much focus today, but like execution when the time to execute presents itself. I think that's a very important thing, right? When the opportunity presents, being able to execute on that opportunity is very important. Alright, anyway, I'll maybe download Ice Cubes. Today was a good day, and I don't know. I'll see. Have fun with it, maybe. So anyway, coming into Euro USD this morning, right? First an IBOS. Okay, then in my mind I'm thinking, okay, maybe we want to see some cells in here, right? 1 hour zone drawn out, 4 hour zone drawn out as well, right? I'm thinking maybe something in there, but there's not in a rush to look for cells, right? Seeing that the POI is like kind of tiny in there, so I was very wary of like sweeps, so I was waiting for more, like at least a chalk, and then follow the order flow down, right? But then we end up having an IBOS, and then by the time it comes into this 50-minute flip zone here, all this is happening at 1, right? 1 p.m, which means it's London low, which means I'm not actually taking trades on EURUSD at that time. So there would have been a valid risk entry in there because there is no chalk before the POI. Ooh. So there would have been a valid trade in there, right? Triggered and everything, and I think it would have hit TP by now. Right, there would have been a valid trade in there coming into this 4 hour. The 3.3 was way earlier, right? You could have got a nice 3.3 easy, but due to the fact that it was 1 p.m. trade, right? So I didn't take that because of it being London low. So yeah, and it does play out, but I'm okay with not being involved in the move, seeing as that it was not the most I don't want to say most perfect, but it just wasn't in during session, right? So okay with missing out on that. I don't think that's a bad trade to miss out on. Nice valid trade, right? Nice flip zone as well. Yes, there's a pivot down here, but this is also a good flip zone. So yeah, not a valid trade in the way I want to do things, right? So not gonna complain about that one. Right, and then I think I pause here somewhere. Eventually I pause, we come into this 4 hour zone, but I think I still wanna play the buys, right? I think this is a big enough swing leg. Swing doesn't have to obviously come back all the way down here for it to be valid swing, like a valid swing run, right? Because the internal has switched bullish. Once the internal switches bullish, that's like the first signs that the swing the swing pullback might be done, right? So at this stage, probably want to play buys, right, on Euro USD, more especially if we get like a chalk here, right? Seeing this supply fail, which then 4 hours turns bullish as well, right? And then like all time trades are in alignment, and then just look for buys. And then GPUSD is in a range as of now, so nothing to be done here, just waiting for a breakout. And then we had a nice trade in here on USD CAD, a trade that hit TP not long ago, actually. Just about hit TP not so long ago, 3.3. So yeah, right, 15 minute has been bullish for some time, bullish, and then today finally we get an iPass, right? iPass, we have this reaction slash flip zone in here, right? Because this internal bar is a valid zone, but because this candle like engulfs both of them, I do use both candles as the POI, right? Another sweep zone, not a sweep, flip zone, right? Flip zone. Yes, there is demand in here, but always remember when the internal is bullish, right? These demands here, I expect them to give reactions, right? Like pullbacks into the actual zones I want to trade from, and not actually be scared of their momentum being able to turn this around, right? I don't think they're not like great priced zones for continuations. Yes, continuations in here are valid, but I didn't mind selling against it, right? Because as you can see, pros of the trade, you had following pros, you had following immediate order flow, right? This was the immediate order flow, the sells, and then some demand has failed, right? This is an iPass, which means demand is starting to fail, even though this 1 hour one has not yet failed. This one down here failed, like some demands are starting to fail. And then we also had a 4 hour chalk, right? 4 hour chalk up here, which then gives me the extra confidence, right? And then actually there was one more in here that happened. I just didn't update this because I was worried about the calculations. There was a strong liquidation, right? Strong liquidation. There was a strong liquidation with the 5 minute, because this was actually an LC1 entry. I'll show that after. Okay, risk cons. This was no longer a risk entry since we took a LC1. Yes, it's more risky. Yeah, that's true, it is more risky, but it was not actually a risk trade since we did wait for, but a little bit of liquidity was swept, which then meant it's a strong liquidation. I'll just show it after, right? Structure is not completely bearish. Yes, internal is technically bearish, but like also seeing these lows fail would have been better. I think it's always better when even these lows fail and then just follow that. Came off a 1 hour demand. This is the 1 hour demand I'm talking about. Did create new supply, right? But again, like I said, it's not the most well priced demand, so I'm not too worried about that. POI is not a pivot, but it is a valid flip zone. Cool. And then I thought it will probably be a overnight trade with how slow the market was basically moving, but no, yeah, few hours and that we were out. So this is not really a con of a trade, right? It was just a thought that I wrote down, so it's not really valid. I'll take this as swing structure if ever we push and break. And then of course, okay, let me just break it down. So this is the strong liquidation here. The reason it's a strong liquidation right there, the reason it's a strong liquidation is because it was actually a M15 pullback, right? Because as you can see, it moved down and then this kettle actually moved up, including this one, and then it broke the low, which means this is like a 15-minute chalk. And if there's a chalk, of course you look for the liquidation, and then the liquidation actually is this high because it's a 15-minute high, not just a 5-minute high. So it is actually a strong liquidation, and then end on the candle as per usual. And yeah, beautiful trade, nice and easy. No hesitation, no, yeah, like literally no hesitation, nothing at all. Just took the trade, kept it pushing. I think even emotionally, it was not a roller coaster because it was kind of late. It was around 5. You see, quarter past 5. So took the trade, closed the charts. Like it's probably the last trade of the day anyway. It's 5. I'm not looking for anything basically after that. This was forming nicely, so obviously you take that. But yeah, managed to just close the charts, go and kick the ball outside, right? Get my mind off it, take some time off the technology and let my eyes rest a bit. And yeah, I think successful day. And I'm saying that because, not because of the win. I think even if this was a loser, I say that in hindsight, but I would have had to accept it anyway. But the fact is, I saw the Euro USD one. I just didn't take it because it's not valid on time. And then this one again managed to set the alert for the POI. POI hits alert. Everything was done in accordance to how it needs to be done. So on that point, I'm happy on that point. Yeah, that's it. Peace.